Good morning. I am currently fixing the shitty audio on that video I did yesterday, and I'm going to add this kind of at the beginning of the new video by saying that it's like an hour and 20 minutes long video. People are like, can you sum up what you're talking about here? And I'm going to go through on timestamps on all the points that I've made that I haven't heard yet, that may or may not be true. I do think an understanding of Nietzsche and his role in how we interface spiritually with the world, or how we don't. And then more so, Nietzsche is I believe that our idea of the Greeks and of the classical writings of antiquity, our modern belief of that, without Nietzsche, it's painted by Nietzsche. I think the Antichrist, the fact that he wrote a book called The Antichrist, where I believe he talks about the Dionysian versus the crucified. But I don't know, and I wanted to say that I would really like to hear from the Niezche podcast, which I'm a big fan of. And so, if anybody sees this, tag that dude over there and see, he knows all this shit, like, really well. He's a professional he's a Nietzschean, as they call him. I do think Nietzsche's the overlooked key and all that. But there's also a point about soul Invictus, the sun god, that is represented at the Last Supper, and a point about Marie Antoinette being a stand-in, represented as Bloody Mary, and then in light of the Last Supper mockery, having her there is kind of a mockery of the Mother Mary. And there's a few other points in there, so I'm sorry, this was already too long. I was going for brevity. Anyways, another, I would like to hear from, I want to hear from this famous person, that famous person. I want to know what Jordan Peterson thinks of this. I think he's a Catholic, specifically why I want to know. Because a lot of what I say in this video is painted by my Orthodox beliefs. I'm not baptized Orthodox, but I also want to hear from, and also Jordan Peterson is, a lot of my biblical information comes from him, as well as Wendigo. And I'd like to hear, I don't think if I were Wendigo and I would comment on this, but because he's a Protestant pastor and I'm pretty outspoken against Protestantism in this, yet I respect his knowledge of Scripture and I believe he's a upright person. So I would love to hear what he thinks, and he digs into conspiracy shit like nobody else, and he does his homework. So if anybody wants to, tag some of these people in here. Oh, and Joe Rogan and Ben Shapiro. I want to hear what they're right. I don't know why I just called them the right, but people who actually aren't afraid to dig into stuff that we can't even watch this thing. I cannot find a clip of it, So that's why I think it's important to have a discussion about it. So, I'm gonna edit the video. I'm gonna post this separately, I suppose, and then try to make it less boring in the overall video and less shitty. I'm an audio engineer. That's the worst thing I've ever put out. Bye.